Hey guys, I wanted to tackle a more real topic this vlog. I mean, not that my other stuff isn't as real. This one's a little more serious, and it's something that's been definitely upsetting for me to see as a longtime YouTuber, and that is kind of the state of drama on YouTube. Now, inevitably, when any medium reaches a certain point, there's some tipping point where there will be bottom feeders. There will be, the TMZs in that area, right? You're going to have people reporting on drama and making drama up and, blowing things way out of proportion. People, some people trying to take the law into their own hands and stuff. And that's something that I think is really, really, for one, toxic, but also legitimately dangerous for many reasons. So the current state of YouTube, has a lot of that. A lot of the biggest YouTubers in the world right now, if not literally the biggest YouTubers in the world right now, are all doing drama stuff. And one of the things that inspired this video was actually one of my favorite YouTubers, or YouTube couples team, H3H3 Productions. They kind of got big off of reaction videos, and I loved them a lot. I think they thought they were hilarious. Essentially poking fun at cringy videos and stuff like that. But they recently uploaded a video saying, you know what, we're not going to do that anymore. We realized what we were doing, what we were making fun of for people, and, the people they don't like, being like Leafy and such, that they were becoming that they were becoming more than just, reporting or, poking fun. They became bullies. A lot of these big names out there are full-on bullies in many ways. And it's hard to tackle this subject, for one, without doing drama. Like, this is drama in itself. So I don't want to try to get too specific with it, because that just, kind of fuels that idea that this is a drama video. But what also sucks about covering this kind of stuff is that, you become a target. It's depending how specific you are, right? And that is bullying. Like, that is the issue in itself, is that, people are afraid to stand up for themselves, to call people out on bullying. Really, I'm just going to say the word over and over, because it's not drama. It's not just some YouTuber having fun. It is full-on bullying. There's people don't deserve the hate they get from some of these guys. Again, I'm hopefully, honestly, maybe hopefully not, but I imagine if you're watching this video, you're well aware the kind of people I'm talking about. And I'm going to be honest, I'm a little upset when I find out friends of mine or even acquaintances actively watch those YouTubers, because you're part of the problem, right? You are fueling this hate. You are giving a view. You are paying these people to be bullies. And that's just super upsetting to me. Obviously, I am way further on the positivity spectrum than most people. Some people like to get a little more negative with it, poke a little fun here and there, and I'm okay with that for the most part. As long as you do it right. I think H3H3 for the most part do a pretty good job of it. Another guy I've been watching a lot lately that's actually inspired me a lot for a couple reasons is iDubbbz, and now he is definitely a lot more brash than H3H3. However, for the most part, not always, but a lot of the people that he really rips to shreds deserve it. I gotta be careful in saying that even. But for instance, he took down Leafy, and his video is gold. It's hilarious. It's obviously what he's doing was bullying, right? So it's I don't advocate that by any means. But he even did make a good point that if you're going to be a bully, you got to be able to take it. But that shouldn't even exist. I hate that this bullying culture exists right now on YouTube. So many, and these guys' audiences are, for the most part, kids. So that's another reason, again, that I'm dude, you're a 20 plus something guy who's watching Leafy. Are you kidding me? That's my, I'm gonna be honest, my respect for you as a person kind of drops a bit. That's just how I am. I'm just gonna be blatantly honest with that. But that's the problem, is that these kids are being influenced by these people. You essentially, I don't always agree with this, but I do think you have, for the most part, a responsibility if you are in the public eye, especially if you have a younger following, that you need to be a good role model for that younger following. Someone, these big names are literally the opposite. And I've seen, since these drama channels have been taking off more, I have personally, because again, I've been doing this a long time, I have seen way more vitriol on the internet, all over, YouTube, Twitter, in the fashion of those guys, right? People are growing up in this toxic community and thinking it's okay to say these things, right? Thinking it's okay, and it's just like a joke to say kill yourself to someone, right? And, obviously, I'm guilty of that with friends. Like, we will, like, for instance, me and the mainstreamers will joke around. We'll be like, we'll say that really tongue-in-cheek, but in the right audience, right? Like, I'm not going around publicly saying that, like, to actual friends. You can joke around. Like, I'm always going to be an advocate of that. Of the, behind closed doors, like, everybody just says everything. You joke around, like, it doesn't necessarily mean much. But in public fashions, right, to create an army of kids, telling people to kill themselves, right, and just spewing vitriol and toxicity all over the net, and it's awful to see. You need to be a role model, and I've never thought of myself as that. Just to, because this is my vlog, so I guess I'm going to talk about me a little bit. I've never really thought of myself that way, because I still see myself as a kid. I am the kid, right? I was always the youngest in everything. At all the events I ever went to, whenever I dealt with professional stuff, Microsoft, whatever, I was always the kid. So I was never like the role model to anybody. And I never was. I imagine I have people who look up to me and look up to what I do, so I really hope I try to set a standard of just, understanding, rationality. Like, these are words that I think I describe myself with for the most part. Obviously, I love debating and stuff, but I like to, for the most part, very much root myself in rationality. And I think that's, and just kind of knowledge seeking, which over the years kind of increased for me. It's just like, I just want to like learn stuff, right? Like, if someone has an opposing view, I want to further understand it. And I don't necessarily have a problem with trying to convince them what's right. And not even necessarily what I believe is right, as much as things that are more factually, with hard evidence right. But as a personality, like as a person with followers, you have a responsibility, for the most part, to be that role model. And that's why it's so upsetting. Like, I hate to think that there are more and more and more kids that are watching these guys, these huge followings, and just becoming bullies themselves and thinking this kind of thing is okay, to harass people, to just, to put people down, to make fun of people, to make fun of people's looks, right? Like, that's not an okay thing. I'll say this again, and I'm going to make another video on this entirely. Like, I don't necessarily believe in, like, I do think I'm in the middle ground. I do think we are going a bit too far in terms of give everybody a safe space. I think, you should prepare kids for the inevitability that someone's going to be a dick at some point in your life. But I also think that, there's an extent that kids should not be like this. They should not look up to terrible people. Awful, awful, awful people. And there's a swath of awful people that kids are looking up to, that are emulating, that are, putting pictures of them on their Twitter, right? Like, just spreading the word of these guys, like, just upsets me. So I'm like, it's a crappy state of the world we live in, that's a thing. That these people are role models, right? That these terrible, and I'm okay with saying that, terrible human beings are role models. It's important to just be level-headed and to not be a bully. Because everyone experiences bullying in their lives. And the more you increase that frequency, the more you make it okay, like, that's not good. That's not good at all. It shouldn't seem like a norm to be a bully, to make fun of someone's appearances, to make fun of something someone does, right? Like, you're going to make people scared of trying stuff, like, especially going on the internet, right? Like, I know very well how hard it is to put yourself out there and make videos. that's super hard for people. And to make it seem like it's okay to absolutely destroy those people, that's not all right. So that was my I'd say little rant there, just about just being a role model mainly. And I think, again, like I don't think necessarily people have that obligation. It's hard to like word it otherwise. Like, no one's like, you don't have any legal contract at all to be like, oh, you need to, kids look up to you, so you need to be an awesome person, right? Like, no, but I'm just being realistic here. No, you can be whoever you want. And different things will get different audiences. But I think it's important to note who your following is, no matter what their age is, what your influence is, how you conduct yourself, and if you'd want someone else to conduct themselves that way around you, and if that's the crew you want to hang around with. Even consider that as a viewer. Consider that to the people you're watching. Are these good people? Do you want to give them the view, no matter how entertaining it may be? Always consider that you may be creating a monster. I appreciate your views so much, guys, as always. Thanks so much for watching. Always appreciate the likes. Love, not war. Illuminati. Albatross. This is a Christmas mug. Like Starbucks or something? Is it just like general? No, I think it's just like a general Christmas mug. But I don't really like winter. It's cold. I'm not exactly prepared for winter.